Okay, so most people have never actually met a true believer. Now, sure, we've read stories about believers, we know that true believers exist, but we hardly ever see them. Well, Be Holy is a podcast that shines light on the behaviors, the mindset, and the duties of a believer, so that we can recognize God's children even when they don't look like God's children. Yeah, it's a bit of a process.
Each lesson is given by our own Pastor Nard. Your sins have been forgiven. All you have to do is believe it, and God will help you through your journey. You've traveled long enough without Him.
Today on Be Holy,
we're going to talk about Jesus being the light of the world. You know what? I usually do these broadcasts to cover some material that we're studying at the church. And so today I heard a few illustrations that are really good. These illustrations really make it easy to open things up for other people. Now, these illustrations that I heard today, even though they were great for me, I already knew the information, but it gave me a leeway into illustrating the things that I know about God, at least as much as I know about God. It shows me or allows me to illustrate it to other people. And most preachers, you guys know, when you're out there trying to tell people certain things or teach certain things, you're looking for illustrations that will make it easier. I don't want to have to quote the entire book of Genesis when I can just give you the story. You get what I'm saying to you? Or present the story in a way to where you can kind of go, okay, I kind of see it. And then God takes it from there by taking you into a whole nother place and then illustrating a whole bunch of other things to you and giving you a whole bunch of other information, a lot of other informations and things like that. And so I saw these things today, but I'll show you when we get to the verses. So today we're going to go over to John chapter 8. Go over to John chapter 8, verse number 12 says, and we're talking about Jesus being the light of the world. It says, verse number 12, Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness because you will have the light that leads to life. Because you will not have to walk in darkness if you are in the light, if the light is in you. So one of the illustrations was this. You really can't see light. You can only see what light exposes. You really can't see light in itself. The light shines on a color and you see that color because that color is in that light. And so even on the color of your house, you see your house because the light is on. Like if the light's gone at night, you don't see your house. If there's no moon, there's no street lights, you can't see the color of your house. But as soon as the sun comes out and it shines on your house, you can see the color of your house. You can see the color of your grass. You can't see the color of grass at night when there's no light. You can't see the color of your vehicle in darkness. You can't see it. But as soon as the light shows up, you can see it. Think about that. Now, if Jesus says he's the light of the world and we don't have to walk in darkness, think about this. Just think about it. When he shines upon us, people can see what we are. They see love in you because love comes from you because the light is love. God is love. And so the light shines on you, and that's what you give is love. If there's hate in you, the light shines on you and it tells everybody what kind of hate that is. That you have hate in you, or it tells you that you have hate in you because the light is shined on you or shone upon you. Yeah. The light tells what kind of light you have. Like even at night. I know we used to have reflectors on our wheels as kids when we would ride our bicycles. And so whenever you have reflectors, you don't see the color of the reflectors until a light shines on those reflectors. Sometimes it was red. Sometimes it was blue. Sometimes it was yellow. Sometimes it was white. But you didn't know the color of the reflector until the actual light shined on it. So when God shines his light on you and me, depending on what we have in us is what we show everybody. Shows everybody what kind of light is in you. And okay, here you go. If God is love, right? And just God, let's just say God's light shines on you. If you're not like him, it's going to show that. Him shining his light on us shows us who we are and who we are not. See, Jesus was that light, and he came into the world, and they couldn't comprehend it. They couldn't overtake him. They couldn't beat him. They couldn't push him away. Matter of fact, you could just do a thing like another illustration that they gave. They said you could walk into a dark room and have just a simple match, strike a match, and everybody can see that match in that dark room. But the people who are closer to the light, you can understand who they are. You can see who they are. But those who are further away from the light, if you don't notice that it's them, you really can't see their faces. You can't see what's in them. And so you don't have to walk in darkness. You don't have to walk in darkness. Since God is the light, let his light shine upon you and you make the necessary changes while the light can be seen, or what's in us can be seen, because we really can't see light. God is light, we can't see him. But when he shines, everything about him that is in us will shine also. And those things that are not like him will run away. You notice how darkness runs away from light? It will run away from light. And if you're not careful, just because you think, I don't do everything right, I'm not totally right, I don't know this and I don't know that, I can't read the Bible, I don't know the Bible, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You can change. You can change. And now think about this. When you change in darkness, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll come out and you got to check yourself in the light to make sure that your buttons are correctly buttoned. Your shirt is buttoned. Your tie is straight. Your dress is right. That's if you're trying to change in darkness. But if you come to the light and change, you can see the changes right when you're doing them. You can see those changes. And this is what we do on our little podcast. We try to say things in a practical way to where people can actually understand them. Now, understand this. The only spiritual understanding we will ever get is from God. And we're just hoping that God uses or that he's pleased with our little podcast. We're trying to give out information that he gives to us. But I can't make anybody believe it. I can't make anybody respond to it. All I could ever do is pray that they get it, I guess. Better yet, do you get it? Do you really understand what I'm saying to you? When I say whatever is in us is what's going to show up when God shows up. When God shows his light, we reflect what part of us or what part of him is in us. Because the darkness part always tries to run away. Don't run from God. You don't have to do that. You don't have to run from God. Run to him. He's the safest place you're ever going to be. He won't lie to you. He won't try to manipulate you. And if you ask him, he'll lead you away from evil. But that's if you really want to be like him. If you want him in your life, he can be. He's all around everywhere. See, He gives us the sunshine now so we can see what's outside and enjoy everything. We can see where danger is. But when darkness comes, you got to really be careful because you don't know where you're walking, what you're stepping on, what might be waiting for you in the bushes. You can't see it in the dark. So God offers light to us, and he shows us these things every day. These illustrations, he shows us these illustrations with the rising sun and the setting sun and the rising moon, the setting moon. He gives us all these illustrations every single day of spiritual things. And we just consider it as, oh, that's just the weather. Oh, that's just, and it's not just something, it's God giving you signs. The very signs people always talk about, I want God to give me a sign. Well, he's giving you a sign every single day. When that sun rises, look at it. You can see everything. You can see everything. But when the sun sets, it's time to go in, get to safety because the darkness is coming. When there's darkness, you can't see anything. You don't really know anything. I don't know anything when darkness shows up. All we could ever do is, go into the house or get in the car and go wherever we're supposed to be. There's a certain darkness in certain parts of the world. We take advantage of, street lights. Oh, I got street lights. I can drive. I can do this. I can do that. But there are parts of the world that don't have street lights. And it's very, very, very dark. Matter of fact, I went on a cruise and I've never seen such darkness. We got out there on the water, and as while the sun was shining, everything looked wonderful. Everything looked wonderful. The dolphins were jumping out of the water, and it was just wonderful. But when the night came, and only light out there was on the deck. So when you're standing on the deck and you're looking into the water, you don't see no land. You don't see any other lights. We saw another ship maybe a mile away where we could see a few flickering lights or something like that. But that darkness is real. In other words, if one of us fell off the edge of that deck into that water, nobody would even find us because it's just darkness. It's just darkness. And God says you don't have to keep walking in darkness. You don't have to swim in darkness. You don't have to live in darkness. Come to the light while you are able to come to the light and reflect God.
Well, how did you feel about today's lesson? Speak with us at BeHoly116@gmail.com. Share Be Holy with a friend, a colleague, or someone who needs it.
Connect with us today at BeHoly116@gmail.com. Your support of Be Holy is greatly appreciated. Simply text the word GIFT to 614-363-6133. And if you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, give us a visit. Come visit us.
Brought to you by the First Church of Christ Apostolic Way, a small church with a big heart.